would say if Charlie Kirk lived in the biblical times, he'd have been the 13th disciple. He'd have been the 13th disciple.
Well, you know, when I first heard this, I felt some kind of way, even as a Christian deconstructionist, but he might be right. He might be onto something there. Because if we think about it back in biblical times, let's think about the culture of that day. There's a heavily patriarchal culture, and it was based on tribalism as well. And would he have been a follower of the Jesus as described in the Bible, which is one of the reasons why we have deconstructed from it? Because when we look at the Jesus of the Bible, do we see the loving, kind Jesus as the only Jesus? No, we don't. What do we see? We see a Jesus who had an opportunity to talk about men and women being of equal nature when the woman was brought to him who had committed adultery. Did he ask for where was the man who she committed this adultery with, and that he too should be stoned? Did he try to advocate for women's rights? No, he just said, "Hey, you know, let ye who is without sin cast the first stone." Not vindicating the woman or or creating a situation where there could be equality. No, he let the woman still stand alone in her uh, in the claim of committing adultery. When he went to the Samaritan well, and the woman came up to him, did he ask, "Could you please give me a little bit of water?" Did he get the water for himself? No, he said, "Hey, woman, give me some water." One of his most egregious things when it came to how this Jesus treated women and dealt with women is the fact that when Mary Magdalene, or it was Mary Magdalene and the other Mary and Salome, or it was Mary Magdalene, a whole bunch of other women and some another woman, it depends upon which versions of the resurrection story. You got different people showing up at the tomb. Did he say to her, "Hey, let me deliver to you this good news of my resurrection"? No. He knew that it was a woman's job to watch over the body and prepare the body and keep the body all freshly um, scented and everything. So, but did he tell her that, "Hey, you women are equal to me and I'm coming to you first to show the equality"? No. He said, "Tell you what, just go tell my dudes where to meet me. Not you show up as well. Go tell my guys where to meet me." Whether it was Bethlehem, whether it was not Bethlehem, Bethany, or it was in Galilee, or it was in Jerusalem, because each story's got a different location to where they were supposed to meet Jesus. So maybe the confusion was that he didn't tell them at all. But those contradictions are there within that Bible. But he told her where to meet the fellas. He didn't give her any great commissions or tell her anything that was more important or that was important, and didn't include her in that journey. He simply used women for the property that they were deemed to be. You know, Martha had some money. Hey, let's stay up in your house, stay at your house. He just used them for what they were. Charlie Kirk viewed white men as the top prime person, viewed women as people who only got by based on a man, told a young girl that the only reason that they should be going to college is to find a husband. That's it. Just go to college to find a husband. To hell with your degree, to hell with your career. None of that matters. You just need to submit and find a husband. So yeah, he would have fit. Tribalism, separation, divisiveness. Jesus told the Canaanite woman, "You're a dog. Why should I give food meant for the children to the dogs?" This woman admitted that she was a dog. She said, even though I am a dog, does not the dog still eat from the crumbs that fall from the master's table?" Since she admitted that she was a dog, Jesus didn't have mind putting her and keeping her in her place. This Canaanite woman, you don't deserve it, because you are not of the primary group, the chosen group. Because this Jesus said, "I came here for the children, the lost children, the Israelites." Didn't say that he came for everybody else. So you get a double hit on the treatment of women, as well as the treatment of different groups that do not fit into your what we would call race today. In that time frame, it was ethnocentrist. And leaning more into that aspect of it, that he came here not for everyone, according to the story, actually what is recorded that he said, but he came for a select group of people, and only that select group of people, no one else. That falls in line with the discourse that this Charlie Kirk represented. Also, the Jesus character said that, "I do not come here to bring peace, but to bring war." to bring division between a father and his son, a mother and a daughter, to divide and split a household. Charlie Kirk did a very good job of dividing the household of America, the household of other Western countries, because now we see that here in America, people are you either on one side or the other side. That people cannot see a middle ground. People cannot say, we may have differences. Let's talk it out. Let's figure it out. The young man who assassinated him was completely wrong. Let's talk it out. Let's figure it out. There's videos going around of the young man being berated and clowned by Charlie Kirk. Well, Jesus did go in there and flip some down tables on some folks. So there's some damage being done there. But that divisiveness, that would have made him a 13th disciple very easily. Easily could have been a 13th disciple because he was personifying that whole system of division within a group, within a people or a country that is supposed to be based on now, not back in the day, but now, based on people with diverse personalities being able to coexist together, not have separations within the country to create more and more separations as each generation goes by. Because that's what Charlie Kirk would have you believe. A man that would suggest that, hey, a white pilot, you should automatically assume that he's qualified, but a black pilot, not so much. Not so much. Even though you kind of gotta have all the flight hours, all the past tests in order to get your pilot's license in order to fly a plane. No one flies a plane without having all their FAA certifications and licensing. Only a fool would believe that. And there are many fools out there, as I am hearing it repeated over and over again on social media. So would he have been a 13th disciple? He would have qualified in those areas. Now, admittedly, the Jesus character does say things like, treat your neighbor as you would treat yourself. Don't know if Charlie Kirk actually fits that bill. He might have had a Judas moment at that time frame. Or he might have had a Peter moment at that time frame in denying this Christ. He might have been waning, sitting on the sideline thinking, are you sure that I got to love my neighbor? I mean, you want me to love my neighbor, but you just call that Canaanite woman a dog. You want me to love my neighbor, but you just said that you came here just for the Israelites, the lost children of God. You didn't come here for everybody else. So why do I need to treat them that way? I mean, Jesus never spoke against slavery. So, and if you take that Jesus did actually meet Paul and he was breathing into Paul's words, then he condoned that slavery when Paul told the slave to go back to your master and, hey, you and your master, you're both brothers in Christ. So treat each other well. And of course, slaves be good to your masters, whether they are good or bad, as you would be unto God and Jesus. So could he have qualified? In some ways he would have. In some ways he would not have. But not everybody qualified and was in perfect lockstep with the teachings of this Jesus or followed what this Jesus was talking about. So he might have. I mean, Jesus wasn't above stealing a man's donkey and riding it into town because he said, you'll find a donkey that's tied up. Go get that donkey. Didn't buy it. Didn't ask permission. He just went and stole it. He wasn't above ruining a man's business. Cast them demons into some pigs and those pigs ran off the cliff. They weren't just running around wild pigs. These are pigs that was owned by a man who practiced pig husbandry, which if you understand the culture of that day, it's one of the lowest damn jobs you can have, one of the lowest status that you can be in. And he just ran his pigs, his livelihood, off the side of a cliff. So it wasn't like Jesus was all good there, huh? Was it? So he could have been a 13th disciple. He might have fit right on in a grossly patriarchal, ethnocentric, super religious community. You might have a point there, Texas governor. You might have a point. So always remember, you have to free yourself to be yourself because your greatness is non-negotiable. Good journey, good vibrations.